Milky, let's get back and work it. We'll hurry up for them.
Jeez.
You're live.
All right. Thank you very much, members of council, members of the public. We're here now at our special council meeting. This is Wednesday, November the 26th, 2025. It's just a little after 5:30 p.m. Council is going to be hosting a special planning meeting here tonight to hear a presentation. So at this time, we're going to go to our agenda, approval of the agenda. Item number 1, recommendation, be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby approve the agenda dated November 26, 2025. Mr. Broderick, thank you very much. Mr. Walker, thank you. And if there's any agenda amendments, please bring them forward. Seeing none, I'll call the motion. All in favor? All right, that carries unanimous. A declaration of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. Anybody have any declarations in regards to the planning item tonight? Nope, seeing none. All right, if anything comes up during the meeting, please bring it forward. We'll deal with it right away for you. So at this time, we're going to move to item number 3 on our agenda, which is the public meeting portion. And as per our procedures here at Clearview Township, we ask the deputy mayor to conduct the public planning meetings. And so, Madam Clerk, I will pass the chair to Deputy Mayor Van Stavert.
Thank you, Your Worship. We will now initiate the public meeting portion of tonight's agenda. We invite you to comment on the application being presented tonight and to engage in the process with us. If you wish to be notified of the decision of the Corporation of the Township of Clearview on an application being discussed this evening, please see the public delegation form, which is with our deputy clerk over there. So if anybody needs to get written confirmations, are on with our deputy clerk. The views expressed in the public comments are solely those of the individuals providing them and do not reflect the opinions of the township, its agents, or its employees. It is not possible for the township to verify that they may be the accuracy of all information provided by members of the public. The township therefore assumes no responsibility for any inaccurate information that may be contained within the public comments. If you have information that might correct, clarify, or refute any statement contained within the public comments, please forward it to the Township Planning Department. Be advised that your comments or requests to be notified will form part of the public record. Your communication and any personal information therein will be made available to the public unless you expressly request its removal. If a person or public body would otherwise have an ability to appeal the decision of the Township of Clearview to the Ontario Land Tribunal, but the person or public body does not make oral submission at a public meeting or make a written submission before the proposed official plan or zoning bylaw amendment is adopted or passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. If a person or public body does not make an oral submission at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Township of Clearview before the proposed official plan or zoning bylaw amendment is adopted or passed, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal, unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to add the person or public body as a party. The following public meeting will involve a brief presentation by our planning staff, an opportunity for the applicant or their agent to present their application, a period for public comments or questions, and an opportunity by questions by planning committee for questions by the planning committee. We will now begin the public meeting with respect to item 3.1 zoning bylaw amendment for file 2025-050. Application is Walker and is regarding 1952 concession 6 North, and the planning staff, Nick, I think you'll be starting with a brief presentation concerning the application. She's all yours.
Thank you, Chair. Your Worship, members of council, members of the public. My name is Nick Ainley. I'm a community planner here at the Township of Clearview. I'm here tonight to assist in facilitating the public meeting for zoning bylaw amendment 2025-005 or 050. Just in terms of framework, tonight I'll provide a brief presentation as the chair indicated. That'll be followed by a presentation by the applicant's consultants. Just to advise, in order to try and reduce some of the duplication we've tended to see between staffs as well as the consultants' PowerPoint presentations, I've tried to reduce and streamline my presentation to be a bit reduced duplication. So I'll be a bit more direct with the consultants to fill in a bit more of the details of the proposed application. So that being said, if you can pop up the presentation. Next slide, please. So here's my contact information. So for anyone in the audience or online viewing, if you have any questions or would like to contact me regarding this application, please feel free to do so. Next slide. So in terms of purpose and effects, the effect of the application is to facilitate the severance of a surplus dwelling lot from the subject lands as a result of a farm consolidation. To do so, the proposed zoning bylaw application seeks to rezone a portion of the subject lands, presently zoned as agricultural, to an agricultural residential use exception zone. The purpose of which is to amend, the purpose of the amendment is to prohibit residential uses on the remnant portion of the lands. This would include single attached dwellings, accessory dwelling units, accessory apartments or bed and breakfasts, as well as accessory residential uses such as home occupations or home industries. Next slide, please. So the subject lands themselves that are subject to the current zoning bylaw amendment application are located at 1952 Concession 6 North. They're located just southwest of the intersection of 33-34 Side Road with Concession 6 North, and located just west of the Collingwood Regional Airport. Next slide. To provide some kind of more context of the specifics of the proposed rezoning, so here's an aerial image of the subject lands outlined in red. The purple square on the kind of the north east corner is the proposed surplus dwelling lot to be severed from the subject lands. And the lands to be rezoned from AG to AGER are pointed in arrows there, but basically the current portion of the land zone is AG will be zoned to an AGER zone. Next slide, please. As the current proposal is required in support of a farm consolidation, the other farmlands owned by the applicant with which the remnant lands are to be consolidated with in the current circumstance are located at 1604 Center Line Road. The lands are approximately 10 kilometers southeast of the surplus dwelling lot. Next slide, please. So in terms of submission items, the following items were submitted as part of the complete application. So there was a planning justification report, including a draft zoning bylaw that was submitted, a justification report on the agricultural component of the subject lands, AgriSeed MDS1 calculations, MPAC property profile, a building permit application subject to the existing dwelling on the lands to be severed, and the consent sketch. All this material can be viewed online and accessed via this hyperlink. Next slide, please. So notice of the application was given in accordance with the Planning Act. This was done on October 29th. It was done via the posting notification signage on the property as well as on the township website. And it was also mailed out to all property owners within 120 meters of the subject lands. Details of the application and material have been made public and are available and have been circulated to the relevant commenting agencies as well. Next slide. So in terms of comments, so any comments that were received prior to the agenda deadline for this meeting, they have been published as a part of the meeting agenda. Any comments received tonight or following will form part of the published recommendation report moving forward. And finally, next slide. In terms of next steps, the application was received on June 26th and then updated submission on October 21st. The application was deemed complete on October 27th. Notice of the public meeting complete application was given on October 29th, and tonight is the public meeting. Following tonight's public meeting, staff have tentatively set January 12th as to bring back staff's recommendation report to council for consideration, with any bylaw from that meeting to be brought forward on January 26, 2026. So that concludes my presentation. I believe the applicant does have a presentation of their own, and I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Do you want your questions now or later? Now? Would you like, is it later? Later, okay, we'll do them all later. Good, thank you. Marie, I believe you're handling the applicant's presentation, one of the applicant's presentations.
Good evening. Good evening, Chair Ben Severin, Your Worship, members of council. I am Marie LaRue. I am a land use planner with Mountain Ridge Custom Homes, and we are here tonight on behalf of Colin and Tanya Walker to present to council the proposed zoning bylaw amendment application. And here with me tonight is Colin and Tanya Walker, their son and their daughter, and also Jim McComb, who is an agrologist with the Farmer's Edge Agri Coaching, as well as Gord Ziegel, Mountain Ridge Custom Homes. Next slide, please. So this is a map of Clearview Township, and on it I have plotted the Walker's Farms. They have 12 owned farms, which their approximate location is the yellow triangles. And they also have 8 rented farms, which is the orange triangles. And some of these have been rented for more than 40 years. And then the red star is the location of the subject property that is subject to the zoning amendment application. Some background information. Colin and Tanya Walker are owners of the subject property. They are Clearview generational farmers, 55 years plus. They are actively farming 20 farms in Clearview, which total 833.24 hectares. Their home farm is known as Walkhaven Farms, which is a dairy farm operation, and their other farms are crop production. The Walker's children are interested and actively working on the farms. The Walker's farm operation continues to grow in order to remain sustainable and ensure the farm is viable for the next generation. The subject farm was purchased in January 2024. Next slide, please. So this is an air photo, and the subject property is outlined in red. The property is described as part of Lot 32, Concession 7, former Nottawasaga. It has frontage of 303 meters and an area of 40.7 hectares. There is an existing dwelling in the northeast corner with an existing entrance on the 6th concession, a private well, and septic system. There are a few storage containers located on site which are to be removed. And the entire property is farmed and only treed along the creek and near the dwelling. Next slide, please. So this is a sketch showing the proposed farm surplus dwelling severance. So the proposed severance is highlighted in a blue color, and the proposed retained lot is outlined in red. The proposed surplus dwelling lot would consist of 0.9 hectares, 113 meters of frontage, 82 meters in depth, and would contain the dwelling, services, and the existing entrance. The proposed retained farm lot would consist of 39.8 hectares, 190.58 meters of frontage, 1,353.82 meters in depth. And the retained parcel would have a proposed new entrance on the 6th concession. The proposed retained farmland would be consolidated with the farm located at 1604 Centerline Road. Next slide, please. So this is an air photo showing the proposed farm surplus dwelling lot, and the proposed lot lines are outlined in yellow. It shows you the existing dwelling somewhat centered on the lot. It has all the setbacks to the existing and proposed lot lines. And the green area indicates the septic system, which is in front of the dwelling, and the drilled well is at the south lot line. And all of the setbacks and everything complies with the zoning bylaw. So then this is a photo taken of the existing farm dwelling on the property, which impact is indicated that was built in the 1900s. And the Walkers had taken out a building permit just to do some internal renovation and add a couple porches. Next slide, please. So this is, again, a bit of an air photo, but it also includes the zoning overlay. And it shows the proposed retained lot outlined in the red hatch, and then the proposed lot in the corner. So the current zoning on the property is agricultural, AG, and environmental protection, EP, along the creek area, and then hazard land overlay, FP, which is the highlighted blue area, which is the NVCA's regulated area. The proposed surplus dwelling lot will remain AG and complies with all zone provisions. The proposed rezoning on the retained lot would be to rezone the AG to AGER, agricultural residential use exceptions. The EP and the FP overlay will remain on the property unchanged. The purpose of the rezoning is to prohibit any new dwellings and residential uses on the proposed retained farmland. Next slide, please. I did have a chart there that confirmed compliance with the lot frontages and area, but that's fine. Next slide. So this is a portion of Schedule 5.1 of the County of Simcoe's official plan, which is the land use designations. And I've indicated in red where the subject property is, but it's kind of difficult to plot it on the county's schedule because they don't show roads or lot lines or any of that. So when I did my review, it appeared that the entire property is designated agricultural in the county's OP. And the county's pre-consultation comment said it was just agricultural. But since then, I thought I'd better just double check. And apparently there is a little bit of green land along the west lot line and just a sliver on the north lot line as well. With respect to all planning applications, they are to be consistent with the provincial policies and conform to the county and local official plans. The provincial policy statements, PPS, indicate that planning authorities are required to maintain and enhance agricultural land base and support and foster the long-term economic prosperity and productive capacity of the agri-food network. The PPS permits one new residential lot per farm consolidation for a resident surplus to the agricultural operation, provided the lot is kept to a minimum and any new dwellings and any additional residential units are prohibited on the remnant parcel. The county official plan policies are very similar to the PPS, other than specifying the new lot should be approximately 1 hectare. The proposed rezoning would be consistent with the PPS and conform to the county's policies, since the farm surplus lot is permitted to be created and the retained parcel is proposed to be rezoned to prohibit residential uses. Next slide, please. So this is a map taken from the Clearview mapping of the Township of Clearview's official plan, land use plan. And it indicates that the property, which is outlined in red, is designated agricultural, where it's the light orangey color. And then there's green land, hazard land area, which is along the creek. And then west of the creek is Greenland natural heritage areas, which is the darker green color. The Greenland Natural Heritage Area permits existing agricultural uses, and therefore the proposed rezoning would rezone that area as well to be the AGER zone. The agricultural policy's main goal is to maintain and preserve agriculturally viable farm units operating within the township's historical agricultural community. A new residential lot in the agricultural designation shall only be permitted in circumstances when an existing residence has been rendered surplus to a farm operation as a result of a farm consolidation and in accordance with policies in section 11.9.8. Next slide, please. So Clearview OP section 11.9.8 sets out the policies for lot creation in the agricultural designation. And this chart briefly outlines the main policies dealing with surplus dwelling lot severance. So 9 permits, I don't think I could read that. I have to on my sheet. It's smaller than I thought. So 0.9 permits the creation of new residential lots for an existing residence rendered surplus to a farm operation as a result of a farm consolidation. And the proposal conforms since the existing dwelling is surplus to the Walker's farm operation, as they already have a dwelling on the home farm, and the proposed retained farm will be consolidated with their farm located at 1604 Centerline Road. Now, the Walkers do have other farms, like they do own 12. And so, they possibly could change the farm consolidation from this property to another one that might be just a bit closer or whatever. So we could, bring that information back to planning staff and that if there's a proposed change in that manner. Number 10 is the MDS is required where there is an existing livestock facility or anaerobic digester on the farm. So MDS 1 is not required for this proposed consent as there is no livestock facilities or anaerobic digesters on the property. Number 12 is regarding the surplus dwelling severance. And A, the surplus dwelling is to be no less than 15 years old. And according to NPAC, the existing dwelling was built in the 1900s. The lot is to be no greater than 1 hectare. And the proposed lot complies because it's proposed to be 0.9 hectares. The remnant parcel is to be no less than 39 hectares. And the remnant parcel proposed is 39.8. The farmland consolidated with farm located in Clearview and within a reasonable distance of the subject lands. The farm to be consolidated is within Clearview, and the remnant farmland is within a reasonable distance of the Walker's farm that are farms that are part of their operation. And it is also close to where the crops are delivered for the market. Number 16 provides for the purpose of 11.9.8.12D, council or the Committee of Adjustment may interpret the term reasonable distance as referring to any distance that provides the efficiencies and effective management of the consolidated farm operation as a unit. To assist council with this decision, a justification report has been provided, which was prepared by the agrologist Jim McComb. Please refer to this report that provides information on the Walker family farm operations, how the farm has grown over time to capture efficiencies of scale that allows them to be viable and to remain sustainable and to ensure the farm is viable for the next generation and justifies their needs for additional farmland. Mr. McComb is here tonight and he has a presentation as well following this presentation. And then number 18 is the remnant parcel is to be rezoned to prohibit residential use, which this public meeting is regarding. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, the Walker family have been farming in Clearview Township their entire life. They have a productive milk dairy operation at their farm located at 2303 County Road 42. They have continued to grow their operation to sustain its viability and for their children who are continuing to work on the farm. They currently own 12 farms and rent 8 farms in Clearview Township as part of their farm operations for crop production. The farms are located on County Road 42, Centerline Road, 1213 Side Road, 2122 Side Road, Fairgrounds Road, and Concession 6 North. One of the main goals of the agricultural policies in the Clearview official plan is to maintain and preserve agriculturally viable farm units operating within the township's historical agricultural community. The agricultural policies have continued to support the farmers' needs to continue to grow their farm operations, to be sustainable and viable farms, and to allow the farmer through a farm consolidations to sever off the surplus dwelling on a separated lot. The proposed zoning bylaw amendment will implement the official plan policies by rezoning the retained farmland lot to be prohibited any residential uses. In my professional opinion, the proposal is consistent with the PPS and conforms to the county and Clearview official plan. The proposed development represents good planning as the development will protect prime agricultural areas for agricultural production and enable viable farm operations to continue to grow. The Walker family respectfully requests council to approve their proposed zoning bylaw amendment And I thank you for giving us the time to present. And I'd be more than happy to answer any questions if you have any, perhaps after Mr. McComb's presentation.
I think that's what we'll do, Marie. We'll let Jim do his presentation and then we
Okay.
can hammer everybody. Okay,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Jim, it's all yours.
Mr. Chair and Council, members of the public, thank you for hosting us here. And just to introduce myself, I'm a fellow farmer from east of here down just north of Belleville. We beef farm and I also do farm consulting. I've been doing that for 20 years. We do nutrient management planning and have done Walker's nutrient management planning for quite a long time. We also do some house rental. So when we talk about having surplus houses, I can understand the reason why Walkers would want to maybe part with a house instead of having a tenant house. And I also prepared the justification report, which you have available to you. So next slide. Colin and Tanya Walker, they're looking to sever this house, and this does add a valuable house to the area for the pride of ownership for someone. The house is not currently occupied, and I think that is a good plus for this severance also, that we're not going to disturb a family. It's going to be available on the market without upsetting a family. Becoming landlords for this house is not feasible for the farm. They don't focus on that. It's quite a you get some experience with it. It's viable in my eyes, but there's some rough roads if you're not experienced in house rental. We've tried hiring someone to help us rent houses, and that can be just as much of a roll of dice as getting the wrong tenant in. Having a property manager. The house is not in proximity to any livestock housing, and the minimum distances, there are no conflicts. So not only does it doesn't have a livestock facility on the farm, but there's none really around it. Other municipalities, they from my experience, have allowed severances of surplus houses for many reasons, but without this restriction from distance to the main farm. This allows new homeowners to enjoy the rural lifestyle while keeping valuable farmland in the hands and care of local farmers. Next slide, please. I just want to highlight one of the points. You know, there is concern that having a farm remote can cause some extra traffic, farm traffic on the road. And there's definitely risks as we get farm equipment on the road and interacting with faster vehicles. And I can understand that. But it's evolving. So in the past, if you refer to the top photograph, we'd use wagons and tractors and move our commodity that way to the elevator or to the main farm. In Walker's case, this will be moved all to an elevator, which is 4.9 kilometers away, pretty close by, just to the north. But farms are moving away, and Walkers have moved away from a wagon tractor situation. And I think that's preferential. The wagons, although they're safety chained, they don't have annual safeties. They have lighting, but the lighting's not you don't have a daily walk around like you would with a tractor trailer or a commercial truck. So I just wanted to highlight that as we move forward, we are seeing larger farms. I was thinking driving up, you know, the modern John Deere combine, it kind of starts at 1.2 million and then you buy heads with it and stuff. So you kind of need, you need to be putting 5,000 acres through that just to kind of meet the payments on it, let alone put some diesel through it and what have you. And so the reality is our days of having a smaller combine there, we can't even buy them anymore new. So it's, we're going to be pressured towards larger farms. It's, just reality, just same as municipality with their equipment. It's, we got to make that stuff pay as it goes across the field. It's, depreciating by the minute. Next slide, please. The Walker family farm, it's been in the family for 55 years and supporting local businesses, local retailers, local plumbers. And it's really, I think that's the beauty of farming is it's very locked into the local economy. You know, we're going to the hardware store and we're shopping locally and employing local people. And I'd also like to highlight that the Walkers prioritize soil health and sustainability using cover crops and balanced crop nutrition. They use their manure and balance it with fertilizer and really make the best of what they can and reduce their environmental impact. And they have a very modern dairy herd. They're using modern systems to milk the dairy herd. I just toured the barn there with Colin before we came, and it's just amazing what where dairies are going and the information that they can bring from the herd, and the animal welfare there is just outstanding. It's just it's wonderful to see. I didn't point out in the beginning, Colin and I are classmates from the University of Guelph, and Mr. Chair, don't let my youthfulness surprise you. Yeah, we're the same age, so. And I'd like to thank you for your time. That's all the time I have. Questions?
Thank you, Jim. That's, we will get to that yet. Okay, now, is anybody in the audience, first of all, have any questions? I don't see anybody. Anybody behind there want to ask some questions? Go ahead. Mr. Van Niekerk, the mic is yours.
Andy Van Niekerk, I'm Colin and Tanya's neighbor, and I just wanted to be here for support of that and to recognize their good judgment and being upstanding neighbors and members of the community. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Andy. Okay. Anybody else in the audience want to add anything? Nobody. Kenny's hiding back there. Okay. With that, that's going to complete the delegate. Colin, did you? Well, get up there.
Okay, I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Chair, and your honorable. As we came in here tonight, Connor looks at me, it looks pretty official, he says, how often does this happen? And gave him the answer, and then not long after that, Larissa says, are you gonna be a mayor someday? I'm like, oh boy. But never know, but no, but it's good experience for our kids to come here and see how it's all done, and you know, it's good eye opener and good practice to see how everybody should conduct business and meetings. So I just wanted to start off just with regards to the subject farm that we're talking about. Before we owned it, we never realized how enjoyable it was to have a farm that was so close to the elevator for harvest. And so we do have another farm that's that we've been renting since 1975. And if that's just an example of the relationships that we try to encourage with our neighbors. You know, it's a relationship, and the only way you're gonna have a successful business if you build relationships. And so that farm that we have been renting since 1975 is within 5 kilometers to it. So, and if anybody's concerned about traffic, it's one piece of equipment that goes to one place in the spring, and then it's done for that day, sort of thing. So we're talking like 2 times harvest in spring when equipment moves, and then is out of there, and it's mostly often within a day. So that's sort of how our farming has evolved. If you're at a place more than a day, then it doesn't take long for things to go bad. Either the rain sets in, stops you for an entire week, and you lose, 15 to 30 bushels on a crop because you had to shut down for 7 to 10 days. And so just want to also express that our family, we encourage farming to our children and also to all of our youth that actually will listen to us. So through our 4-H program, we really try to inspire the kids and also really try to challenge them as well. Challenge isn't always nice, but a challenge also helps build character and helps you succeed and excel in what you do. And our belief is if you can excel in one thing, you can pretty much excel in anything that you want to do. So the kids want to farm, and the opportunity hasn't been beside us at that time to be able to grow our farm, like immediately beside us. And so if you're ever concerned about setting a precedent, we would just request that you would help us with this application to approve it so that you can help our farm succeed. And if you look around this room, you could probably look further, but if you're setting a precedent, you pretty much would want to know, and you can feel confident with our children that they'll want to farm within 5 to 50 years from now. So thank you.
Thank you, Colin. At this time, I'll just ask our clerk, our deputy clerk, do we have any comments? I know none were received prior to a certain date there, 18th, 19th. Have we got any other comments?
Thank you, Chair Van Staveren. There was only agency comments, so you're more than welcome to ask council if they have any questions or comments.
Good, thank you. I'll close the comments then from the audience. And if there's nobody else who wishes to speak, going once, going twice, going 3 times. Thank you. A member of this committee, would they like to ask questions to any of the presenters? Councillor Beelan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just wondering about access to the fields. I know these big tractors can make their own entrance, but you do have a big transport truck that you probably need some laneways or whatever to get to the fields. You don't have to use this severed lot to get to that field, do you, on the east side? And I'm assuming the field on the west side of the river has its own access somewhere too.
Yes, so with regards to the entrance on the farm, we have done it in the past where we've shared entrances, and we've never had a problem with that at all, but it would kind of be a special market that would, or a special person that would probably want to share an entrance. And so the best access to enter the farm would definitely be to the south, and so then we would make an entrance application for that.
Perfect, thanks.
Thanks.
Can I just add one thing to that, Colin? Just Marty mentioned about the river. Just straight through it right now, or do you have access through the neighboring properties to get to the back portion?
We've had discussions with the neighbor about having access, and so we haven't confirmed that yet, but that's definitely a good idea, and it has been positive. But yeah, right now it's skipping across the river, and it looks like what's there has been there before.
It's
like
generational. Good.
And it's generally really hard, like somebody's put a lot of work into making it accessible.
Good, thank you. Councillors, any other questions? Do I see any here? Councillor MacArthur?
Yeah, just calling. I'm not sure whether Jim should apologize for referencing a John Deere combine instead of a red one.
Your worship, did you have any comments or? Okay, I got a couple comments, questions. I'm going to nail Jim first. Jim, you made two mistakes today. First of all, you never show a Kenworth on a Walker property because you know what the family is. And Kenny's sitting back there grinding his teeth. I can tell that. That's number one mistake. And number two mistake, the picture with Connor and Larissa in it, that ain't them. Anyways, so it's just a little fun for Jim there. I do have a couple of questions, and just from past experience. Marie, when you were doing your boundary checks for the zoning, was there any overlay from the airport designation across the road at all?
No.
There
there's
is none.
not. The road separates the designations.
Right, but I seen some pictures before that had a little airport designation along that strip, but not just this farm we're talking about. So it's gone. There's no airport restriction there.
Like in the zoning bylaw?
Correct. Your worship, you might have an answer to this?
I'll just help out if I can, Mr. Chair, and for Marie and perhaps the planning staff can confirm. There is a designation for airport industrial over many of the properties that are around the airport. But I'm not quite sure if this particular one has that overlay on it. The overlay was put in place to protect the future integrity of the industrial use of the airport lands, that it could expand in the future. And so it's been in place since the 70s or 80s, I think it was. It was even discussed at the time of Nottawasaga Township. And it was one of the arguments that this council made to move ahead and build the employment land designation on the lands that are to the east of the current Collingwood Regional Airport right now. So I'm unsure. It's a good question, Mr. Chair.
Further to what you're speaking to there, I do recall that there used to be almost like an agreement, a covenant
Yes.
over the area, but that was a height restriction, so it did not affect any of the airplanes. There was a height restriction. I
Yeah, the
believe.
height
So-
restriction is in play because the airport has a airport license. And so irregardless of what the zoning is, the height would elevate out based on the airport. But the designated use for lands, future designated use for lands is in play on some properties that are adjacent to the Collingwood Regional Airport right now. And so I'm just looking at Roz. Do you know anything about that, Roz? Because we discussed that with another file here, perhaps more than a year ago. So, Roz?
Thank you through to the chair, to Mayor Measures. I think what there was in the past was an overlay around that. There was quite a bit of an area, it went right across. I think with our new official plan, and that came into effect in 2024, that was actually removed. But I'm going to say, if you wouldn't mind, Nick and I will actually look into that for you because we are still getting acquainted with that overlay, and whether it was there. I don't believe it got carried through. But you are correct in that the industrial lands that are east of the airport are actually designated for an airport type of use, so.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, go ahead, Con, or did you want to contribute to this, Phyllis, this question, or there was something? Okay, I'll get Phyllis to speak first now.
Thank you. We've already done the farm consolidation with the property next door to that, and this never came up during that discussion. That's
Okay.
all I have to say
Okay.
about that.
Good, thank you. We'll still let our staff come back, Marie, if there is anything else that we have to deal with. Did you want to speak to that, Colin, again?
Yeah, sure. So mine was to support Phyllis because over the last couple of years, I've had this discussion with quite a few people, and then it kind of puts it to rest when we realized the farm to the north was ag restricted as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I have another question. Nick, I'll throw this one at you. They're consolidating this property with a property on Center Line. Is this part of our new official plan, as opposed to let it be in a freestanding situation, or is it still with our new official plans that it must be merged?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, so they do, it's technically, in terms of the policy update to our 2024 official plan document, the prior official plan had to ensure that they were abutting and merged on title. In this circumstance, they wouldn't be able to merge on title due to the separation of it, so they would be separate ownership, but they have to be under the same corporation or farmer's ownership, but they would be freestanding lots.
Okay, so in this case, if the Walkers wanted to sell either of these properties at a later date, they will have to resever the center line from this property. Am I correct in saying that?
I would have to confirm the requirements for that. I don't believe they would be required to, but I'd have to confirm.
Okay, I just get very concerned as a fellow farmer that we don't create these big cross-border situations. I have no problem with the consolidation. I just don't want to see them, these tentacles going right across the property sort of thing. I will agree, like with what's being done now, what Mr. McComb said, we do add good value from a taxation point of view. For those who have driven by to see the job, the Walkers have done it. They've made a beautiful job of that house. So with that, I think it's very good that way. So anyways, any other comments, any questions for the Walkers or any other participants? You're good, Johnny? You're good. Okay, thank you. That concludes the public meeting with respect to the zoning bylaw amendment for file 2025-050 regarding the 1952 Concession 6 North. We thank all who attended and provided comments for their interest in this matter. All input received with regard to this proposal will be fully considered by staff in their recommendation and by council in their decision with respect to the application. A report regarding this proposal will be prepared for council, who will make a decision concerning this matter at a future meeting. As there are no other public meetings on this agenda, Your Worship, I'll pass the chair back to yourself. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. A good work there, Deputy Mayor. Council, at this time, we'll move to item number 4 on our agenda for this special meeting. It is the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of this council meeting. Be it resolved, bylaw number 2572, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the November 26, 2025 council meeting, be presented and read a first, second, and third time, finally passed the 26th day of November 2025. Could I move by Mr. Beelan and Councillor Deneen? Thank you very much. And is there any questions? Seeing none, I'll call the motion. All in favor? That motion carries. Our final item for tonight is the motion to adjourn, and the time would be 6:17. Mr. MacArthur, Deputy Mayor, thank you. Motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Thank you. Just keep in mind, folks, it is 1 month until Boxing Day.